Good day, everyone. This is Rachel Jackson with OHM Advisors, and this is the first presentation for the YCUA Trunkline Water Infrastructure Improvements Project along M17 and US 12 in Ypsilanti. The agenda in the presentation, we will give the project background and the intro, the scope of work, project schedule, traffic control, water shutoff information, MDOT road rehabilitation quick overview, questions, comments, and contact information for YCUA, contractor, OHM, design team, and construction team, and public meeting information where we will hold an in-person public meeting. The basis of the project is that YCUA has existing infrastructure within MDOT right-of-way US 17 M12 that is aging and needs to be repaired. The MDOT rehabilitation project is to immediately follow the YCUA project. That project is coming after. Project overview for the YCUA Trunkline Water Infrastructure Improvements Project. It will be a phased construction along US 12 and M17 in the city of Ypsilanti. These streets comprise of Huron Street, Hamilton Street, Washtenaw Avenue, and Michigan Avenue. Lead and galvanized water service replacements will be performed within the right-of-way and on private property. Private property will be notified if you have not already. Mainline sanitary sewer improvements near I-94 in the city of Ypsilanti and a small portion on Huron Street that we'll go over, and associated roadway pavement reconstruction, sidewalk, curb and gutter for the impacted areas of the YCUA project. The schedule, I'll draw your attention to the right hand of the screen, the presentation. The project is in 4 phases. Phase 1A and B have a bit of overlap, which is why they are called 1A and 1B. Phase 1A at the bottom is from March 2022 to June 2022. These are anticipated schedules. There is a potential for these to adjust slightly, but we believe we've given a reasonable amount of time for the contractor to complete within the timeframes. There will be multiple construction crews working at a time, potentially within phase 1A and 1B, and phase 2 and phase 3. But phase 1, March 2022 to June 2022, phase 1B, which is north of Harriet, between Harriet and Michigan Avenue on Hamilton and Huron, May 2022 to October 2022. Phase 2 goes north of Michigan Avenue and comprises of Washtenaw Avenue, North Hamilton, and North Huron. That's from September 2022 to May 2023. That phase will likely have a winter shutdown for cold temperatures, and there may not be any work happening during the cold months, but that doesn't mean that things aren't progressing. Then phase 3 will be May 2023 to September 2023. Contractors may work from Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the construction schedule is contingent upon the ongoing COVID-19 situation. The next couple slides are just going to be a more zoomed in map of the project. This is phase 1A, starting first in March 2022 to June 2022 anticipated. Sanitary sewer and water main replacement work along Jefferson Street and Madison Street, which is at the south of Madison. And then water main replacement and some sanitary sewer repair on South Huron, just by 539 Huron and south of Harriet. Phase 1B is between, as previously mentioned, between Harriet and Michigan Avenue on South Hamilton and South Huron. This particular slide is showing between Michigan Avenue and Buffalo. And the next slide also showing work within 1B between Buffalo and Harriet. Phase 2 is north of Michigan Avenue. This particular slide is showing Washtenaw Avenue. Washtenaw Avenue is not going to take necessarily September 2022 to May 2023. That's just all of phase 2. Phase 2 also, it has North Hamilton between Washtenaw and Michigan Avenue, and North Huron between Cross and Michigan Avenue. Once again, may not be the full September 2022 to May 2023. This is just in the phase 2 timeframe. And then the final phase, phase 3, which is anticipated May 2023 to September 2023, is Michigan Avenue between Ballard and just slightly east of Huron, but not much further east. And I will hand this presentation off to Greg Marker, who is one of our construction experts.
So hopefully you see on the screen there, Greg Marker and Fraser.Payne. We're the construction engineers on behalf of both the city and YCUA that will be coordinating the work that Rachel just described. A few fill-in details around some of the slides you just saw. You know, any of these phases could advance or slow down due to the particular dynamics of the work as we go along. So, you know, some of those could speed up or slow down as appropriate. Encompassing this work, you know, this is capstone work. You know, many of the people watching this may know me from the last 20 years of water and sewer work in the community. This project is 14,500 feet of water main installation. We're talking about 25 new hydrants being installed. There's 42 private property lead and galvanized service removals associated with this work, and a much larger number of lead and galvanized being done in the right of way. So this is larger scale work. It affects the major operations of the town. And as you see on the sketch there, all those blue lines are pipes that have to be installed. You know, in this particular case, this is on South Huron, north of Harriet Street as you move past Buffalo. So just to give a flavor for that, you know, we are going to have a large impact to the community. And it's Fraser and my role to really help the community understand what those impacts are, and for us to do our very best to mitigate them and minimize the impact to you, affording you access to your home throughout the construction here. Next slide, please. You know, to drill in a little bit on some of the specifics of when we put this water main in on the last slide, that was the dark blue line. We also have to work on that water service line to each and every property. So, you know, as you see on the screen there, we set a water shutoff valve on or around the right of way. Typically that's behind the sidewalk. As we get on to like Michigan Avenue, that can change and be at the face of the building or a few feet off of it. And we're working on adding a new water main and then replacing all the services that are lead or galvanized. And each of those require entry into the home at the time the work is done. And we have been reaching out and contacting each of those people individually. So you, as the logo over my back left shoulder shows, you know, you will be approached by someone with that logo saying, hey, we would like to talk to you about when is the right time to do the water service in the right of way and get into your home to make sure that that's clean and flushed before we move your water service from the old water main to the new water main. So that's kind of like the overall global thing that drills in on what we're doing as an overall goal for this project. And then right behind that, we're going to patch the road and fix the things that we damaged doing the right of way. And then upon completion within each of these phases, MDOT will be coming behind us with their contractor in a separate operation and doing a rehabilitation of the entire roadway. And they can talk more about that in their public presentations at a later date. So next slide, please. And then, you know, I'm going to use this slide to transition from myself over to Fraser. So these are just a few of the images showing just how dynamic and difficult this type of work can be for the workers that are performing this work. They're in trenches that are 5 to 6 foot deep. There have to be, in most of these scenarios, there's 3 lanes of traffic. They're going to take 2 of them in order to do this work and leave 1 lane for the motoring public. So there will be delays even in that 1 lane being flagged as operations go on. We minimize those delays. We try to tell them, you know, keep them under 3 minutes if at all possible, and never more than 10 minutes at any given time. Avoiding the work zone where a crew is working can really be helpful for you. So Fraser, maybe you want to pick it up from here and really drill into the specifics on Jefferson.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. My name is Fraser.Payne here. I've been working in the city a few years, helping YCUA and the city of Ypsilanti install water main. You'll see me out in my vehicle, out on site quite often throughout the day. So feel free to approach me and ask what's going on. You know, we work hard to make sure we're very open and we communicate what it is we're trying to achieve throughout the project. So as Rachel's clicking through these slides, you can see that we are covering quite a fair area of the city. You know, we're starting in on Jefferson Ave, which is off the main roads of Huron and Hamilton. We have a full shutdown of Jefferson Street. It will be open to local traffic only. Through any point, if you are a resident along the right-of-way or along the construction zone, we work very hard to make sure that you have access to your property. And if we do need to interrupt your access, we will communicate, you know, how and when we will be doing that. Next slide, please. To start with, we will be starting on Jefferson and Huron Street, installing water main. These are just some of the technical drawings that show you know, the work on the shoulder and within the main road of Huron and Hamilton as we work down the streets. You can go to the next slide there. So as Greg explained before, this is very technical, difficult work. We will be working in trenches, underground, replacing the water main. We will have large equipment and haul trucks and materials to mobilize out of the area and into the area. And with that kind of work, we need to, we will be working in the right-of-way, and we will maintain 1 lane of traffic at all times through the construction zone. But we just ask that any of the traveling public moving through the work zone is slow and courteous to the construction and the people working in that area. We as Rachel explained, this is a phased project where there's a lot of different moving components about what streets being closed and when. We will provide notification and detour plans. This will be posted on our website, and will also be posted on the message boards that we'll have located around the city that will describe our work and describe what detours are being implemented. And as Greg said before, there will be traffic impacts to the city, but we will do our very best to minimize these and to keep traffic flowing. This slide just shows our work area. It's a typical scenario of Huron or Hamilton being 2 lanes being closed and 1 lane staying open for traffic to move past. The layout of the new pipeline is through the roadway, so a lot of this work is within that roadway, and in order to perform the work, we will be needing to take at least 1 lane, mostly 2 lanes of the travel way through these streets. Next slide, please. Part of my responsibilities is to help coordinate the water shutdown. With a water main, it is part of that process is to shut the existing water main down in order to put on the new water main. And with that process, we endeavor to give businesses 5 and 3 days verbal notice about a shutdown, and we try our very best to coordinate that in a manner that's least affecting to the business and residents. And then we give the residents and businesses written 24-hour notice of a shutdown. But I just wanted to say, like, this is very complicated work. There are a lot of scenarios where the water could be turned off at any moment. And if that is the case, just please bear with us. We're doing our very best to turn it back on in a timely manner. With those 24-hour notices, there is a time that we specify that the water will be back on. If you don't have water at the end of the day, please let us know. We will do our very best to get you water. We'll do what we can, but if you don't have water when that notification says you should be calling us to let us know, and we will be working to figure out what's going on in the system. With this, I think this is a good slide for me. So with this, the contract is scheduled to work Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will work when we can. We will be affected by weather and by snow. We're endeavoring to get this project done as fast as possible. And if we can work to install this water main, we will be working. Is there anything else I need to touch on this slide, Rachel? I think that's about it. And
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, we do plan on winter shutdowns. So, we're going to be picking a point somewhere in December. We are going to clear the traffic lanes, and we are going to get out of town, get all the signs, get everything out of there, and then remobilize at some point in late February when we think we're mostly past the snow. We don't want to get into a conflict with snow clearing operations. And so we do plan on every winter picking some point based on the weather that we can't tell you what that is yet, and clearing the zone and pulling everything out and bringing it all back, like right about now in the spring, late February, middle February, depending on how the winter's going. So that's part of this contractor operations.
Great. I think that covered it. Thanks, Craig. As mentioned earlier, MDOT is coming through for a road rehabilitation project within basically Huron, Hamilton, and Washtenaw and Michigan Avenue, pretty much similar project limits as YCUA. They will provide more information as their project progresses. At this time, we don't have all of the details. So if there is any questions for MDOT, we encourage you to reach out to them. Their project will include concrete patching, road overlay, and ADA ramp pedestrian improvements is what we understand. As the COVID-19 and pandemic continues, OHM, YCUA, all of the workers, contractor will adhere to local and state requirements for everyone's safety. This slide lists all the contacts for YCUA. the contractor, OHM field staff, and OHM design staff. The city and YCUA are working together to provide project links for online support that will be provided once those are available. And as a reminder, this is just the first of many public outreaches that we are doing. The first in-person public meeting will take place on Wednesday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. at the Freight House in the city of Ypsilanti. And if there's any questions, please reach out from the contacts on the slide. Thank you, everyone, for the attendance.